What is going on, everyone? This video here, we're going to be talking about some of my top 6 baits-ish for Lake Texoma coming up here. Right now, the fall transition is happening. Water is starting to turn over a little bit. Fishing is getting tougher. The water's coming down. Water temps are also coming down. That means the fish are moving. They're hungry, keying in on very, very specific bait, depending on the class of fish. Now, for the purpose of this video, we're going to be focusing specifically on the keeper class of fish, and that's going to be anywhere from like 14 to around 16, 17 inches. This is going to be more of your entry-level, non-specific fishing style, where it's just kind of a chuck and wind deal, nothing technique specific. You don't need live scope, you don't need anything for these techniques here. So let's go ahead and jump into it. My number one confidence bait for Lake Texoma most times of the year is going to be a finesse style swim bait. Now, as I'm dropping stuff here, I've got two main picks for these. Now, what's very unique about these two baits here is that they are a smaller profile bait. They're both going to be around that 3-inch size. What's great about these as well is they don't have a lot of tail kick, very minimal action on them. They have a very thin piece of plastic holding the paddle tail on, which really allows you to either slow down these baits or really speed up these baits depending on what the fish tell you they want. So the first one is going to be the Crush City Mare in the 3-inch version. This color here specifically is Sexy Shad. We also have Tennessee Shad. We've got a bunch of other shad colors. This one here works very, very well for me. The reason I love this one so much is it reminds me of the Storm Largo Shad before they kind of got rid of those. But these here are another great option. They have a very tall profile, which is a very good shad profile, especially on Lake Texoma. And since the water's clearing up quite a bit, I love this Sexy Shad here. It's a little bit chartreusey, a little bit green, matches the water perfectly and the bait that's in there. Second one here is going to be the Cast Prodigy swim bait. Now, this is in the Big Bass Dreams collaboration color. And what's cool about these is these actually have a rattle inside of them. So whenever you throw them out there and reel them in, as that bait shakes, it's going to have a little bit of a rattle inside there already. So pre-rigged, ready to go for you. You can always add a rattle to these if you want. Sometimes it doesn't make a difference, but I absolutely love this ghost bait fish color, especially if you're fishing very, very clean water. Fish can definitely find it. Works better on clearer fisheries that I found. And on something like this is going to be my Jig Head of choice. This is a 3/16 ounce Picasso Smart Mouth Jig Head. It's going to be the unpainted version in a 2-aught 3/16. So it's going to be able to fit this little tiny 3-inch bait very, very well. You can throw this on a spinning rod. You can optionally also throw it on more of a moderate to medium bait caster rod if you want. So you can throw this very, very easily on either one. If you've got kids that are starting out, or if you are a kid fishing the tournament, you can throw this on whatever you want. All you're doing, throwing it out there, reeling it in, nothing complicated. You can always slow your retrieve down, get it closer to the bottom, or speed it up closer to the top, depending on what those fish are telling you. I almost guarantee a fish catch if you throw this the entire day. I guarantee a fish catch on this. And that's my number one pick. A little finesse swim bait, especially this time of year, can be very, very deadly. If you don't like these options here, we also have some Kitech Easy Shiners, as well as Swing Impacts as well from Kitech. So those all work extremely well. These are my top picks, though, starting out for Lake Texoma. Next up is going to be a Ned style bait. The Ned Rig, very simply put, is going to be a jig head, very similar to that swim bait one. However, you're going to be using bottom contact with these. My top two picks are going to be the Berkeley Flatworm 4.25 inch in the black or smoke black and purple flake color. This is a great option. This has a great spiral down to the bottom. So if your fish are a little suspended up off the bottom, this has a great spiral coming down. As it hits the bottom, you just kind of work it accordingly. You can snap it kind of like a tube, and it'll do like a death spiral down. This is a great option, as well as this guy right here. This is a Green Pumpkin Ned Bomb. These are, I believe they're like 3.25 inches, but this is just overall a great Ned Rig bait. You can also drop shot this if you want, and you can also drop shot this. Right now, fish want to stick near the bottom a lot of the time. You might find some bait chasers, which, you know, that swim bait is good for targeting those. If you're finding fish on the bottom in specific places, off a ledge, on a point, something like that, I highly recommend throwing a Ned Rig at them. The 1/6 ounce jig head is going to be a great size, as well as the 1/5 ounce for keeping it down on the bottom. So number 2 is going to be a Ned Rig. Next up, for those of you who like crankbait fishing, now's the time to start bringing out some of these red/brown crawdad colors. A DT6 is going to be a great option for you. All you do, throw it out, reel it in. You can upgrade the hooks to a little bit thinner gauge to hopefully help you get a better landing ratio on these crankbaits, but it doesn't get much finessier than a DT style crankbait, especially in that 6 to 8 foot range. These are very beginner friendly. You throw them out, reel them in, nothing to it. Your line size, I highly recommend anywhere from a 12 to maybe 15 if you're newer. If you've got the equipment that can throw 10-pound line or have the right rod, highly recommend 10-pound as well, especially on Lake Texoma where the water is going to be a lot clearer. So number 3 pick is going to be a little crankbait like that, like a DT6. You can throw a DT8. There's a couple other ones out there that I highly recommend, like the Rapala OG Slim, which is great for a little bit shallower water if you're cranking that. Moving on, little more technique specific. This is a sleeper craw. Fish it like you would a Texas rig. Throw it on around 14 to 17-pound line if that's what you're comfortable with. You can even optionally throw this on lighter braided line like 30-pound braid. This is a great bait for just getting bites. Very similar to the Ned Rig. You're going to throw it out there. You're going to let it hit the bottom. You're going to work it like a Texas rig. Just kind of small lifts of the rod. It's going to move this bait around. This thing here is super, super amazing. You can also throw another bait in the sleeper series, which is the dark sleeper, which looks kind of like a goby instead of a crawfish. We have different sizes for that. The 3/8 ounce and the 1/2 ounce are also great options there. So those are kind of my top, I guess, really 1, 2, 3, 4 techniques. And then the drop shot, of course, you can throw the flatworm and this guy here, the Ned Bomb, on those. But other than that, you know, water temps should be around, I would say, high 70s to low 80s still at Texoma. Water is going to get a little bit harder to fish. If you've got forward-facing sonar, I'm sure you can find a lot of fish that way. Another great bait, not really a beginner bait, but another great bait that you can throw is going to be the Alabama rig. I highly recommend the Shane's baits or Picasso A-rigs for that matter. Absolutely love those. So there's a lot of options out there, but if you realize, you know, my main thing that I'm going to be keying in on is the bait fish with those finesse swim baits and any bottom contact bait, you know, in the Craw family, especially in the darker colors. Green pumpkin and this black color are great options in the fall time. Not a lot of people are doing it, and it really stands out on the bottom, and it also stands out if you're kind of just working them in the middle of the water column, so you can do that as well. But guys, I hope this video helped you. If you're fishing Lake Texoma, good luck. Definitely pick all this stuff up from Lake Pro Tackle. $50 free shipping, and we should be able to get it to you before your tournament next week. So guys, I hope to see you all there if you're fishing Texoma, and if you do see me at weigh-in, say hi. Definitely want to meet a lot of y'all there. So good luck everyone, and thanks for watching.